Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. Before we get into the show, I'd like to issue a correction. Later on, we'll get into DC FanDome and reference Gotham Knights taking place after Arkham Knight. Gotham Knights is set in the greater DC universe, although the Suicide Squad game is set in the Arkham universe. Go figure. There are timestamps in the description, so you can skip to whatever topic you'd like. The social media stuff is also linked in the description if you want to see what kind of stuff we would tweet. Keep an eye out for next week's episode, where we'll have a review of Bill and Ted Face the Music, as well as our thoughts on the series as a whole. Now let's get into the show. Fortnite has a new, what is it, like a new tournament where you can win the bad apple skin.
It's such a stupid thing. Yeah, $10 says that they like Apple and Epic decided that they were going to do this just to try and get more people like invested in their companies.
Yeah, it's an obvious publicity stunt.
That's the word.
What, publicity stunt?
Yeah, I was trying to remember. But yeah, no, it's so clearly like there's nothing else it could be. Companies aren't actually going to be like this about shit, like, you know?
Yeah. No, it's just insane how, like, immature Fortnite is being. Like, they're gonna usher in, like, the stifling of their game just so they can, like, make a few extra dollars on V-Bucks.
Honestly, I don't think that that's what the case is. It's just, they're doing a sale thing. And they talked to Apple about it, and they came up with this idea that they're gonna pretend to be at war with each other to generate, like, support for either thing so people would buy more into those products. Like, that's what I think.
No, I don't know. I don't think it would end up in a court case if it was just that.
I mean, they're both rich companies. They can afford to have, like, frivolous court cases.
Well, I don't know. They wouldn't let it go this far if it was just, you know, a publicity stunt. Like on that they're both in on. Look at how much
traction it's gotten. Look how often that's gets shown up on trending on like Twitter and shit. The what is it, analytics for all the Google searches people have done on both of those things now.
I guess, but even if it's why would you purposefully
it's generating a lot of?
Why would you purposefully go through an expensive lawsuit like that? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it's a publicity stunt. Like, they're gonna waste some money, but the idea is that in the long run, they're gonna earn back some money.
I don't know. Seems too risky.
Well, I mean, it's always risky when you do a publicity stunt.
But like, if it was on purpose and they were both in on it, the worst it would get is like a Twitter beef, and it would last maybe a week, and it would be like Fortnite or Epic Games tweeting out like, "Hey, at Apple, we're offering 20% off on V-Bucks, and take that, cunt." And then Apple would tweet back like, "Oh yeah, well, buy our new iPhone."
Yeah.
And then that's as far as it would get.
You're also not wrong.
But now it's a whole court case where like the fate of the mobile industry is at stake, because like this is just dredging up a lot of shit. Like the whole issue of like high fees for being on the App Store and like a high, you know, Apple tax basically, or Google Play tax. It's not new, and you know, this isn't the first time that a company has asked for and gotten special treatment. It's just Epic Games, I don't think, is big enough of a company to you know, have enough sway to actually get what they want in this case. But I mean, look at Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime Video is on the App Store, and their transactions are only are only taxed at 15% instead of 30%. And that's because Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah.
But now I'm hearing that, it's going to be harder to develop an app with Unreal Engine and release it on iOS because, Epic Games owns Unreal Engine. And, with all the shit that they're getting into with Apple is like taking away their developer kit from game devs or app developers and saying like, yeah, you can't use our SDK to develop apps in Unreal Engine for iPhones.
Okay, and now we're getting into some fucking territory.
Yeah, there's no way that would be a publicity stunt because that's like people's livelihoods at stake. That's like real shit that's going to be sorted out for years.
Both companies.
Oh yeah, everyone's in the wrong. These are my favorite cases where no one's right and you get to hate everyone.
You want them both to lose somehow. Like a third party just shows up. It's like, haha, I'm suing both of you. Why? Because I can.
It's like in epic rap battles of history where you got Isaac Newton and Bill Nye going at it, and then suddenly a new challenger approaches and it's Neil deGrasse Tyson just ripping into both of them.
Yeah.
Or like, maybe that's a bad example because we love Bill Nye, we love Weird Al. In the I think it was it wasn't the Trump versus Hillary one. I think it was Obama versus Mitt Romney when Lincoln stepped in and just tore into both of them.
Yeah.
That's what we need right now.
We should resurrect Lincoln. That's the only person we need right now. None of these other blokes. We need to talk to the lich that lives underneath the Lincoln Memorial and convince him to step back into the presidency.
Well, that's bold of you to say.
There's a reason why Abraham Lincoln wanted to keep the entirety of the United States together. It's because that's his phylactery. If the South succeeded, they would have broken it, and his soul would be destroyed.
That just
I know my
that just gave me flashbacks to like Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I never watched it, but I saw commercials and I was very confused.
I was aroused. Oh, who's this tall, dark, and handsome fellow? Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
That just felt like such a clash of genres. Like when Pride and Prejudice and Zombies came out. That was out of left field.
The most amazing movie. I love movies that do that, though. They're just so great. It's like someone's sitting there, they're thinking, what would be a good movie? I know. Let's take Pride and Prejudice and put zombies in it.
I haven't seen Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, but my wild guess,
I believe it follows the same story as the book by the other name. I think it's just Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
But it's the same story where it's like Romeo and Juliet with a racist guy and a not racist person.
Right. No, I can only imagine that it's not a silly zombie story. It's like Walking Dead, World War Z kind of zombies. And like a movie should always be as silly as its title, I think. And Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is one of the goofiest titles I have ever heard.
I actually have seen part of it. I can tell you the basic plot of it. It's Pride and Prejudice, except instead of it being a wealthy plantation owner and a whatever the girl was, I forget what it was. Basically, they're both survivors in the zombie apocalypse, and the chick has been like trained from birth to hunt zombies and shit with like katanas and crap. So it's stupid and it's great.
So she's an anime protagonist.
Basically. there's a whole training montage in the beginning. It's like, this is what they're doing. And, you know, they fall in love and yada, yada, yada. It's Pride and Prejudice, but with zombies.
So Haley really wants to watch Pride and Prejudice with me. I think I might present this as a compromise.
Do it. Tell her that you got it, but then put that one in.
I'm looking at the reviews right now. It has 3.9 stars on Google Play, so that's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
This top review says... and it's 1 star. It says, it seems like they read the first half of the book, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, then decided to spark notes the rest. The last half of the movie is like a completely different movie. It's almost like the producer said, okay, we need a certain percentage of the book to use the basic plot lines, character names, and the title. We got that, and now we can do our own thing. As long as Darcy and Elizabeth get married at the end, people won't notice or care. End quote. Well, I noticed and care. This movie was crap. And I feel like that person just didn't get it. It's Pride and Prejudice and zombies. There's no way this wasn't going to be a shit movie. But a
You're
fun
telling me
movie.
this movie wasn't going to be a retelling of the classic story?
Honestly, that's like when people give bad reviews for like Adam Sandler movies. It's like, what did you expect? It's like eating shit and saying it tastes bad.
Why does my shit taste so bad, Alex? What did you do to it?
It's like, we know. We know that Adam Sandler makes bad movies just so we can take his friends on vacation. We know. So just let us enjoy it.
It's like the Dark Brotherhood from Skyrim. You just get like a letter randomly in the mail with a shit smeared handprint. We know.
Oh, I'm looking at the cast right now, and it has Lily James. She's the girl from Yesterday, and she was in what was it? Mamma Mia 2. So it's got actors that have been in stuff.
They've got people.
It's got Matt Smith. He was the one Doctor Who, you know, with the weird cheekbones and the chin.
I know who Matt Smith is. He was one of the last good ones. Peter Capaldi was okay, but his like second half of his run was horrible.
Who is he? Is he the older one?
The old guy that's angry all the time.
Yeah, so I've never seen Scottish. Doctor Who, so I know there's like the Tumblr one, the new Tumblr one, the old one, and the girl one. And then a string of like 60s Doctor Who people.
Yeah.
And when I say 60s, I mean from like the beginning of time up until 2008.
Dude, fucking the very first Doctor Who episode, they still had black and white TVs and shit.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain the very first episode had no like music or audio at all.
Yeah, probably. It probably had Charlie Chaplin starring in it. That show was old as fuck.
No, it had a different old guy. It had a different old guy, but he's like long dead. Like he has a fucking tomb. That's how old and dead he is.
Yeah. Didn't Doctor Who start out as like a children's educational show?
Kinda.
Wasn't it?
The idea.
Well, what was it, Jared? You were saying?
I'm eating a sandwich. It was a sci-fi show that would teach kids like lessons about science and shit along the way.
That seems pretty cool. But then
they started getting into like deeper storylines and shit, and the writers started to get more creative, and it just kind of devolved into what it is now, which is also not too bad. It's just nowadays on Doctor Who, it's like the Star Wars issue where there's no real good creative ideas for what an alien should be. So they just, like, throw shit at a wall until something comes out. Like those weird, giant, like, face slugs from the new Star Wars movie. There's been, like, 100 episodes now, where that's basically what they're dealing with. Or it's just something from the 60s brought back. In some cases it's alright, but like, no one gives a shit about the Daleks anymore.
Yeah. Well,
They're
I mean,
cool
any show
villain,
that goes
like,
on for that long is going to have a lot of changes. Or else
here's
it just
the
won't
thing
stay fresh or relevant.
Yeah, and like, I understand that they're supposed to be like the main villains, like, oh yeah, you can't have Batman without the Joker. But when the Dalek Empire has been destroyed like 50 times over the course of the entire show, at some point they're probably gonna have to stay dead. I don't know how many times you can go on a genocidal rampage before like they're just dead.
Well,
it's like there's a
they're gonna find that number.
There's an entire episode, the two-parter episode. It's called like Missing Earth or some shit. It was one of the it was during David Tennant's last run. That's 10th Doctor.
Yeah.
And it was the last time Donna was his companion, and they had like everyone from the previous seasons come together and shit. It's like, oh, we're gonna fight the Daleks and shit. And at the end of it, they have this part where the Doctor basically winds up just exterminating all of them, just fucking genociding the entire species. And it's supposed to be like this powerful moment because it's like, oh my god, he just broke his one rule and wound up like murdering every single one of them. And it's like this intense scene and shit. And then like immediately after they got a new actor, they brought them back.
Yeah, that happens.
It's in the dumbest way too. They had this whole plot line where Winston Churchill had accidentally employed a guy who was a cyborg who was not real, but was made by the Daleks to think he was a scientist during World War II, who invented Daleks, and they were these things he called Ironsides. But they were, they're the genocide aliens. And it's revealed that what they've been doing is stealing World War II technology so they can rebuild the Daleks. And when they like rebuild them and shit, they have this thing where like this door opens and like the new models come in and it's just the Power Rangers, but if they were salt shakers. I have one right here. It's a cool little toy I got a long time ago from my grandma. But I have the Red Ranger Dalek. But it's just so funky because actually let me find something because I think I do have the old design also. Give me a second. I'm back. Yeah, I'll send some pictures of them though.
Alright,
you can hear me still, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But I'm going to show you two designs for them. The first one is the 60s Dalek, which is basically what they've all looked like. The only difference is the lights on the side of the head change slightly. Like they go from little light bulbs to like thimble lights.
Yeah.
But this is the original, like the normal design. Okay, hold on, that's a bad picture. Let me send a better one. Oh, I don't have to like hold the camera at such a weird angle. There we go. That's what they look like. And then
okay, that's cool.
This is the fucking Power Ranger one. Like, there's still similar design and shit, but like, they came out, and when they rolled out, they were like, this is what the Daleks are gonna look like now. So they thought, okay, we should have one of every, like, type they're gonna have. Like, there's the leader one, and then there's, like, the strategist, and the engineer and shit. So what they had is they had 5 of them, and they each were color-coded and shit. There is a black one, a red one, a yellow one, a white one, and a blue one. The fucking Power Rangers.
Yeah, that sounds like the Power Rangers. So I'm looking at the Dalek, and as someone who has not really watched Doctor Who beyond like a couple episodes, can you explain to me why this is threatening?
The first versions are threatening because they're designed like tanks. They
Is this what I'm looking at right now, the first version?
The gold one?
Yeah.
Yep. They're
Yeah, I guess that kind of looks like a tank.
yeah, but the way they're designed is that there's a like squid alien guy inside of it, and
Okay.
it's basically just a small tank that can go into hallways and shit. But they have like insta kill death rays and shit.
Okay.
And the plunger arm is like it's a weird thing, but it lets them hack doors and shit like that. But the threatening part isn't the appearance; it's just what they do, and that's they just wipe everything out.
Yeah,
like,
it just kind of looks like a generic R2-D2.
Yeah. Like, there's episodes where people are, like, making fun of them, and they just, like, wipe out an entire planet's population. Just one of them.
Really? Because
like,
it kind of looks like
shit.
it kind of looks like you can just tip them over.
Oh, yeah, and that was a thing that you could do, but then they, I think, what was it? Not David Tennant, it was the Ninth Doctor. What's his name?
I have no idea, because I don't watch the show.
He was the doctor that wore a leather jacket and had greased back hair. He was the cool doctor. But on his run, they reintroduced the Daleks with the new design, which is the gold one, but the heads changed a little bit to reflect like a more modern idea for it, which is just they changed the light bulbs and they added a bit more to the face part.
Right.
But the new design had the ability to fly and like a force field and shit. So they just made them more, oh, now we can't beat them with stairs.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you could give them like, I don't know, a more formidable looking body, like a Terminator. Like a Terminator would be more threatening than these. Yeah,
no, they actually have another cyborg race that are like the antithesis of the Daleks. They're Cybermen.
Yeah.
Because their whole thing is they're trying to make more Cybermen and like replace the universe with them, when the Daleks just want to kill everything.
Yeah, I've seen the Cybermen a little bit. I've watched like a couple episodes of like the Tennant era.
Yeah. The Cybermen had a recent change to them where they now look like Iron Man.
Well, now I gotta look this up.
The biggest example is, I think, the Cyber Commander is what they're called. It's the guy with the black face and you can see his brain, but he's got like a fucking arc reactor.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, the whole light in the center of the chest thing, that's like a total Iron Man ripoff. But yeah, I'm looking at him right now, and like the 60s looking Cybermen. I'm just looking at various pictures.
Those are hilarious to look at, because
they look so goofy, but like if you saw one like in your room in the middle of the night, you'd freak out.
The original design of the Cybermen, I don't know if you see it, but it's just a guy with a balaclava and a tin hat.
Yeah, I think I saw that somewhere.
Like, they have gray ski masks and like a lantern on top of their head, and they have a whole fucking like arcade machine strapped to their chest.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. You've seen the show Community, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I have. That's Dan Harmon's show, yeah?
Yeah. Do you know what that reminds me of? The classic Cybermen? The human being mascot from Greendale.
Oh my god.
It looks like the human being mascot with like an air conditioner strapped to his chest.
It's beautiful. Yeah, no, but that's the thing though, like, the only things they ever bring up now in the newer Doctor Who's, especially fucking Capaldi's arc, because like they had a really cool idea for a new villain, like eldritch horror thing. Like, it's not scientifically explainable. It's like some weird cosmos shit, like cosmic horror shit. Hey, you want to know what that guy did? What this like horrifying like Cthulhu monster does?
Something stupid, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he makes puddles. He wants to drown a single town. The Doctor defeats him by arguing with him.
Well, that's how I beat Fallout 3.
Yeah. It's such bullshit, though, because it's like, here's a new thing, and he's gone.
And it's gone.
It's like, hey, you want to see the Zygons again? Those guys are also great because they never changed the design. They still look like how they did in the 60s, and that's, think of a squid tentacle, now make it red and put a face in the middle of it. They're shapeshifters, but they have the most ridiculous appearance, and I love it. They also brought back the Ice Warriors, who were a lizard species that wore power armor. They decided to show what they look like underneath the armor, which was cool, but it's like, who really cares? None of the people who are watching Doctor Who now have ever seen the Ice Warriors before, because that was in the fucking, like, not even 80s. I think that was in the 70s. That was when the Doctor had a hat. And that's another thing. That's how we gotta figure shit out. Like, this just all these just stupid shit. Like, I'm getting sick of all the Weeping Angels crap, too, because it's like,
Is
the
that
first
the
time
one,
it was cool.
Is that like the statue that kills you?
Yeah, the statue that moves if you blink. They had so much shit for that, and it's like stupid now. It's no longer a scary idea. It's just, oh, they're here again.
So how do
Why?
you beat them? Is it like the power of love or something?
No, there was a way that you could beat them, though. Trying to remember. I know that you can't destroy them because if you inhale the dust made from them, it like, you become one. And they do this stupid thing. It's like the image of an angel is an angel, so like they can jump into your eyes or some shit. It was stupid. That episode was stupid.
Yeah, that sounds like something you write when you run out of ideas.
I think the way you beat them is you just nuke them from orbit or starve them, something like that.
Yeah, that's how I would do it.
Oh no! Now I remember how you beat them. You wait for a wound in time to appear, and it just sucks them all away because Deus Ex Machina.
You wait for a what?
A wound in time
a
to
wound
appear.
In time.
Yep. There is a whole thing during Matt Smith's arc where cracks in time kept appearing and like absorbing people and shit. And then it just turns out to not be that big of a deal. Apparently it was like the Time Lords were like doing shit or something. They didn't really explain it, but it stopped immediately after Matt Smith was killed.
Really? Yeah, that's another thing that you write when you run out of ideas.
They had an episode where the Doctor saves Christmas. The planet Christmas.
The planet Christmas. Okay. So that's what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. And he lives, and it's like a planet where, like, 60 years pass every year or some shit like that. Like, time's really fucked up there. And what happens is, like, he sends his companion to go live somewhere else to be safe while he's, like, trying to help these people out because shit's going down. And then he's about to die, and he's fighting people. I forget what he's fighting. I think it was fucking Daleks again. Probably. That's usually how they do it. But then there's a crack in the sky, and then all the time energy comes, and they resurrect the Doctor, because he's, like, there's a whole monotonous thing that's like, this is his 13th regeneration, he'll die. And it's like, oh, just give him more energy. They're like, no. And then she's like, please? And they're like, okay, we're doing it. And then they, like, bring him back. So now he's apparently just fully immortal, which was something that he already was, but they retconned that because fuck you.
Really? Yeah, I've heard, like, I have, like, surface level knowledge of Doctor Who. So can you explain to me how the regeneration works?
So originally, regeneration, because the Doctor is a godlike being called a Time Lord, is that all Time Lords, which is his species, can regenerate into, like, another version of themselves and stuff. And it used to be that they were all, like, you know, like, starting out, it's just you turn into a younger version of yourself or something like that. And then it's like, no, it's like you turn into a different version of yourself. And then now it's like you turn into, like, just someone else. Because, like, even your personality changes. And now it's just, you can just change into anything. You could just be a person or an alien or Just
But
you
they all
change your
happen to
sex
be
now too.
humans, right?
Most of the time, yes, but apparently you can be an alien. That's just something they said. It's like, oh, you can be an alien too, but we're never going to do that. And it's just weird because it's like, also apparently they have a finite number of them too. You only can regenerate 12 times, except for the Doctor. They can regenerate infinitely because the time crack and all the people just poured their regeneration into them. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Doctor Who has jumped the shark like 10 times.
Yeah. No,
oh no, we've jumped the
David
shark for the
Tennant
13th time. We'll die.
Yeah, basically. No, it's like the David Tennant to Matt Smith ones when they did the whole, like, your personality kind of changes. Because then, like, Matt Smith is, like, kind of David Tennant-y, but more, like, I guess more high-energy Tumblr kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that makes
David
sense.
Tennant feels more like Twitter, where Matt Smith's more like Tumblr. And then Peter Capaldi is Facebook. And then the new one's just BuzzFeed, I guess. I don't know. I don't really watch the new one because I stopped after halfway through Capaldi. The last episode I really watched of it was when they killed off the Davros, who's the guy that made the Daleks, for the 4th time now. Except this time it's for real because he died of old age and he's like really sad about dying and he's a good guy now, so he's dead now. Because that's how it works. If the bad guy becomes a good guy before he dies, he'll die for real when he dies.
Only the good die old.
In Doctor, yeah, basically. I love that whole thing though, because like Peter Capaldi's talking to him. He's like, "So why did you call me here? You're dying." He's like, "Yep, I'm dying. I just want to spend my life with my only real friend." And he's like, "You killed thousands of children. You're a war criminal." It's like, "Yep, but I'm dying, so you have to be sad about it."
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing in sci-fi when like the redeemable warlord.
Mm-hmm. Except he's just not redeemable at all. Like his whole thing was he wanted to preserve his race, and he did so in the most horrific way possible. And it was like, you didn't have to do that. Your people don't need to go off and like kill everyone. And he's like, nah, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we do.
Right.
And at the end of it, he's like, oh, I'm a good guy now. I regret my decisions in life.
Yeah, that's just like in Star Wars when like Darth Vader or Kylo Ren would just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, my bad, first of all. I would like to announce that I am good now. I would like to announce that I have forgiven myself for my crimes against the galaxy. You're welcome.
You see, at least with Darth Vader, though, like, he doesn't care about all the evil shit he did. He just wants to save his kid.
Yeah, I'm really interested in like the split personality kind of aspect of Darth Vader. Because like people have written like their psychology thesis on this before about how like Darth Vader as a character is like a perfect example of, I think it was like borderline personality disorder. Basically, where you're fucking crazy and you can be a different person at times.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, it makes sense too.
Yeah, I played I played Vader Immortal recently on my Oculus Quest, and in that game you get a little bit of like, behind the scenes on Darth Vader. Obviously, it's Darth Vader centric game, and I can just walk you through like the plot of it. It's divided into 3 episodes. And the first one, it opens and you're like a spice freighter, like smuggler, basically like a generic Han Solo type. And you and your droid companion get like intercepted by the Empire, and they basically take over your ship and they bring you down to Mustafar, and that's where Vader's castle
you go to
is.
Vader's castle?
Yeah, you go to Vader's castle, and like at first your droid companion, who's played by Maya Rudolph, the droid's name is, it's like ZO3Y or something.
Question:
Her name is Zoe.
What is Zoe? Is she like C-3PO? Is she an R2-D2?
She's kind of like a floating C-3PO, but like not as stuck up. It's just Maya Rudolph as a droid.
Okay.
So
I'm upset.
They bring you down to Mustafar, and Zoe is like, "What the fuck is even here? Like, this is like a mining planet. Why would they bring us here?" And then you're like going
just
across the landscape,
space.
and over the horizon you see you're approaching this giant foreboding castle, and they bring you in, and you're in the hangar. They like knock you out, and I thought they like killed off Zoe because like they like shoot her, right? The stormtroopers shoot Zoe.
Come on,
then they stun you.
You saw the last Star Wars movie. They don't kill the droids. They just can't die.
No, like each episode it seems like Zoe dies.
She's the Kenny of the Star Wars universe.
So they stun you and you wake up. You're in an Imperial like holding cell, I guess. There's like the interrogation set up, you know, like in A New Hope, where they have like, or I guess it's more like in The Empire Strikes Back. I had to think of the name for a second. Yeah. It's like what they use to like get information out of Han Solo, and they have like the interrogation droid, you know, with like the truth serum needle. And there's this Imperial officer who's got like a cyborg Phantom of the Opera kind of thing going on. And
beautiful.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm evil and I am a force to be reckoned with, and I am going to leave you in here, and Darth Vader is coming, and don't piss him off." And then he leaves, and then you see
piss him off.
And you see Zoe in one cell and this like alien looking dude in another cell. Kind of like sub cells, like a cell off of your cell. I don't know. So this alien guy is like, I guess he's a Mustafar native, and he got locked up, and he's like, "Look, I can help you get out of here. I will guide you to our priestess, and she'll like help you bust out of here." So your droid and this guy, I forget his name, this alien dude, you guys escape.
But you don't actually escape.
But that's actually not before you see Darth Vader coming in. After the Imperial guy leaves, Darth Vader comes into the cell, and he's like, "Here, open this box." And it's like, it's not a holocron, but it's like a holocron. You know, you push a button.
It's a Sith holocron.
No, it's not a holocron. It's just a mystery box thing.
That's what it is. It's EA's new microtransaction system.
Yeah. So
Confetti comes out, and you get a common skin.
Darth Vader hands you this box. You push the button, and it like opens, and he's like, "We found him. We found the one." And apparently, you're only able to open it because you have like a certain bloodline. And then,
are you also Palpatine's granddaughter?
Everyone is related. Everyone is a Skywalker. Everyone's either a Skywalker or a Palpatine. Or
this
both.
This universe is getting pretty fucked up. Yoda was actually Palpatine all along.
I wish they would have gone with Darth Jar Jar.
I wish that they would have done like something even more outrageous, like Rey is like General Grievous's daughter or some stupid shit like
Rey
that.
is General Grievous.
Rey is General Grievous. They should have brought General Grievous back just for no reason. Like,
They might as well
I've been
have.
behind this. It's like, why were you behind it? Because I'm the most marketable character. Kids love me. I look like a fucking Bionicle. I've been looking though. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I wanted to talk about that Star Wars movie that doesn't exist. That would have been awesome. The not final version of Star Wars Episode 7.
Oh yeah. Is it a different version of Episode 7 or 9? Because
Episode 9. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot about the original version of it.
Oh, it was gonna be so fucking great. They had this whole thing where they're gonna go to Coruscant, and that was most of the movie was gonna take place. Was a planet that we don't see anymore in the newer shit.
Well, we can get
they
to
were
that.
Gonna go and do that shit. Yeah, we'll get to that. I'll talk about that on the podcast.
Well, we're doing the podcast
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. Okay, never mind. We just didn't welcome people. I don't think.
Oh no, I've started pre-recording those, or like separately recording those.
Oh.
No, this has just been a 45-minute cold open.
I thought we just haven't been recording yet. I'm sorry.
No problem. You've been doing great.
Quick, cut out the part where I said all of the people who watch this podcast are horrible.
So anyway, back to Vader Immortal. I'll just kind of skim through the rest of it, basically, because I barely remember it. So after Darth Vader is like, he's the one, we found him. That's when your droid and this alien guy bust out of the cell. And then some shit happens. Getting past stormtroopers and whatnot. Then you come across Vader's dojo, which, by the way, is like a separate game mode. That's a separate game mode, like that you can just go through and like level up, and it's pretty fun. But anyway,
wait, is it actually called Vader's dojo?
Yeah. Well, it's like where he trains and stuff. And anyway,
I just didn't think it was actually called a dojo. I guess the Force is a type of karate now.
All right, let's just call it Vader's playroom. So you go
Vader's
into
playhouse.
You go into Vader's playroom, and among the whips and chains, you find there's like a pedestal in the middle of the room with a lightsaber on it, and
it's not a lightsaber.
So you pick up the lightsaber, because why wouldn't you? And then
everyone wants to be a Jedi,
right? And some combat training droids pop up, and they like start attacking you. And then like when they get a hit in, it's like, no, you got to work on your form. So when I come at you swinging like this, you have to hold up your lightsaber horizontally, and like this threatening situation just turns into like just sparring.
Like, no, you're doing it wrong. See, where do they get these people?
So for a little bit after that, you get a lightsaber, which is pretty cool. I that was really great for me, because up to that point, it was kind of a scary game in the sense that like you didn't really have any power or agency. So now that you get a lightsaber, it's like, okay, I can actually do stuff now. I was worried that it was gonna be like just a bunch of shit happening around me, like happening to me that I can't control, but then it turned out to be really fun once you get the lightsaber. So you do a little bit more fighting around. You're basically trying to get underground into the mines that's where this alien guy's like species is like hiding out, and then that's where you end up finding the priestess. But anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, at one point, you're like on an elevator, and you realize like, oh shit, this is like out in like the hangar. And then stormtroopers start shooting at you, and the guy's like, I'll buy us some time. And he pulls a Yinsen, and he like grabs a blaster, and he like starts going out, and he ends up getting captured, I think. But before he goes out,
he doesn't immediately get like serrated by the laser beams.
Right. It just
Swiss cheese him. They capture him.
It's kind of ambiguous what happens to him. But before he goes out,
you don't find him again. He's just gone.
Well, in that moment, it's ambiguous what happens to him.
Oh, okay. So you find him again later.
Yeah. No, before
funny, they just never go back for him.
Before that,
it's like, I think we got off that planet. Hey, wait a second.
Before that, he gives you his like amulet thing. It's basically like to show his people that like, hey, we're with him, even though he's like not with us right now, because he may or may not be dead. So
yeah.
Yeah. Then, I'm trying to remember the sequence of events. I think that's when you go down into the mines and you go into like their stronghold and you meet up with the priestess, and at one point you're like on the way in to this underground like layer, I guess, you encounter sentinels, and they're like, hey, we gotta guard this place, and you guys are outsiders, so like square the fuck up. And so you have to like you basically have to duel them. Yeah, you have to square the fuck up. You got to duel them. And then you encounter the priestess, and she's like, all right, I'm going to guide you, and you're going to help us get the I think it's like the bright star or something. It's basically like an artifact that their people had. How much do you know about Mustafar lore?
A little bit.
So
I was never interested in Mustafar, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting story. You find out in the game that there was like a couple of like humanoid people, whatever, that like settled on the planet. And they like made friends with the natives, and they were like, here's our artifact. And then there's a war that happens, and the guy gets killed, and his wife like tries to use the artifact to like bring him back to life, but it ends up fucking everything up. So then Mustafar goes, it was this like lush green planet, and then it becomes the hellscape that we know it as today.
We know and love.
Right. And so what your goal is, according to the priestess, is to find this artifact and use it to basically return. You're trying to break the artifact and release Mustafar's like spirit energy or whatever, and then that restores like the life. And then so a little bit later on, Darth Vader encounters you again, and he's like, hey bud, you're on my team now, and we're going to get this bright star, and we're going to use it to bring back Padme. Well, he doesn't say bring back Padme, but you see when you're like sneaking around, he's with this like spirit guy who's like a Mustafar native, kind of. And he's like,
right.
Yeah, you can use the bright star to like bring Padme back to life. And you see him like trying to like, you basically see flashbacks, and he's talking to this like salt crystal looking thing.
This salt crystal.
Yeah, you know those like Himalayan lamps that Joe Rogan likes. It kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
So you see that
Darth Vader
when you're sneaking around,
Doctor.
And then later on, Darth Vader finds you again, and he's like, hey, you're gonna find this thing for me. You're gonna guide me through this temple. Only you can go through because you got like the bloodline and shit. And now
You got the blood.
you're basically gonna get me in here. I'm gonna take the bright star and I'm gonna use it. And there's nothing you can do about it. So that happens, and at one point you lose your lightsaber because you get surrounded by sentinels and you and Darth Vader are fighting them off. By the way, it looks so cool basically seeing Darth Vader in person, kind of, because it's VR, like fighting off these sentinels. It looks so cool. But anyway, you get overwhelmed and Darth Vader comes. He takes your lightsaber, dual wielding, just fucking them up. And then he never gives you your lightsaber back, so you're just kind of lightsaberless for a little bit. But it's okay. And by that point, it's like the end of episode 2. Episode 3, I think that's the end of episode 1. Doesn't matter. Next, you go into another room in this temple, and you have to use the Force to basically, like, I guess, solve a puzzle. It's not really a puzzle, but it's like, use the Force to move this rock over here, you know, and you find out that you have, like, latent Force ability. So,
you know what? This is just every time they make a new Star Wars game, it just reveals that there's someone else with the Force that the Empire just doesn't care about.
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, remember that time there's this guy who knew how to use the Force and did stuff? Let's focus on this farm boy and the old hermit, though. Also, imagine being like a member of the Rebel Alliance and then figuring out that there's more Force-sensitive people. Like, where the fuck were these guys when, you know, Vader murdered all of my friends? What, you telling me you have the same space magic as the Dark Lord of the Sith?
Yeah.
Where were you?
No, the more you play these games like Jedi Fallen Order or Vader Immortal, the more you play these games or like just absorb Star Wars media.
How much these guys are assholes.
The more you realize how much The Last Jedi is a lie.
Oh yeah, that's
The Last Jedi. Besides
like
these 50 other people that also are trained Jedi.
So I can forgive Baby Yoda because, you know, he's just a baby. What the fuck, everyone else?
Exactly. So
it's like Starkiller is technically retcon, but I'm pretty sure someone mentioned him in one of the newer movies.
Probably. So anyway, back to the game. So you spend the first bit learning how to use the lightsaber. Now at this point you're learning how to use the Force. And so
I mean, you Force choke Zoe, and then that's how that episode ends.
So you're with Darth Vader for a little bit, and then you get separated from him, and then you're reunited with like the native people. I really wish I remembered their names, but
Mustafarian.
Anyway. So the priestess and the spirit guy that Darth Vader was talking to have this thing in common where they have this like vague space magic.
Asthma.
Where they can just like teleport wherever the story needs them. So then after a little bit, you get separated from Darth Vader and you find your friends again. And then you're reunited with the priestess and she's like, hey, go to the tomb of the guy, you know, from the story. You know, the guy that like got killed. And you're going to go to that tomb. And by the way, turns out your special bloodline, you're like their son. You're the son of the guy that got killed and the lady that tried to save him. So that's why you're able to get through this tomb. It's like their tomb, you know. So you have to go to where this guy is buried.
Visiting your dead parents.
Right. And it turns out the spirit that Darth Vader was talking to is he is the guy that got killed. He's that guy's ghost. And I don't quite remember why he was like in cahoots with Darth Vader. I think it was just so he could get someone down there to free his soul, you know? So you have to go to his tomb, and once you do, you get his lightsaber, and then that lets you control the Sentinels. So at this point, you know how to use the Force and you know how to use a lightsaber. You got both. It's pretty much, just running through, slashing up some bad guys at that point. So you have the Sentinel army. Yeah, you have the Sentinel army. You got the Force. You got your lightsaber. So you got to go back up to the main level of the castle, and you have to, because at this point, Darth Vader has taken the Bright Star, and you have to get it back from him. So he is doing this like ritual thing to try to bring back Padme, and it's like fucking everything up. It's stealing everyone's life force. So you got to like stop him from doing that. And
it's like, hey Vader, stop it.
Yeah. So you got to duel him for a bit, and then you end up destroying the Bright Star. It looks like you're about to get brutalized by Darth Vader, but then this like the spirit of the guy like freezes time, and he's like, "Hey, I got you." And so you get like taken to safety, I guess. And he's like, now that you've given me the Beat Boy and freed my soul, I'm gonna get lost in some rock and roll. And then he like goes to heaven or whatever.
Like the little rug you did.
Yeah, thank you. And so this life energy is released, and Mustafar is like slowly gonna go back to how it was. It's a slow process. It takes years, by the way. But
I hope it never goes back. I want someone else to go and do the crystal thing again and just destroy the whole planet. It's like whoops-a-doodles.
So
thought I could bring back my pet parakeet.
Yeah, so at the end of the game, the very end, it's like you have the lightsaber, and at that point it's like toast because you had to use it to like break the Bright Star thing. And it's like, hey, that thing matches with another artifact that we have on the ship, and then it brings up this map, and it's like, wow, look, we're gonna have so many more adventures. And then that's the end of the game.
Every location's another lightsaber. Your character's revealed to be General Grievous.
You're
a
revealed
fine
to
addition
have
to my collection.
one more famous relative for each game.
Pretty soon it's just the entire Star Wars Battlefront 2 roster.
But no, I did not do the game justice at all explaining it. If you have a quest, any hypothetical listeners, if you have a quest, download Vader Immortal. It's only $10 for each episode, $30 total. I'd say it's worth it. And even after you beat the game in episode 3, you get each episode you have access to Vader's dojo, but in episode 1, I think you only get a lightsaber. Episode 2, you get the Force. Episode 3, it all comes together, and you can dual wield and stuff, and you can like throw the lightsaber like a boomerang kind of. It's so cool. But yeah, it's kind of like a wave thing. Like you get a wave of bad guys coming at you. You gotta take them out. There's like the dual droids, like the dual practice ones, and there's the ones that the little ball ones that shoot the laser, and then just stormtroopers. What you get depends on like what kind of wave you're on. And there's a mode called Unleashed mode, which happens with some waves, where you can like build up enough rage and then shoot lightning, and it's so cool.
That does sound kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I'd say I just want a fucking like Star Wars prequel game, and it's just General Grievous. Like, you ever see the actually, this is my topic. I want to talk about this. The fucking nerfing of General Grievous. Like, have you ever seen, like, in between episode 2 and 3, they had the guy that did Samurai Jack, they had to make a Star Wars cartoon?
Yeah.
Like, that cartoon was so fucking awesome. Like, they had they like throughout it, there's like all these like different characters they introduced, like Dirge and Ventress and all this other shit. Like all the guys you remember from like the extended universe shit. Like that was where they came from. Like all these like head honcho bad guys that you never see again.
Yeah.
And one of them that was introduced was General Grievous. And in that show, he is such a fucking badass. Like, there is a part where he takes on like 5 people and kills them all. Like Jedi Masters and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a whole training montage he has where it's showing Dooku, like, teaching him how to fucking kill Jedi and shit. It's like, oh yeah, a Jedi, they'll fucking kill you if they get a chance to, like, crush you or whatever. They have the mind tricks and magic. So what you want to do is just go fast and go hard. And it's just like, use intimidation and be very unorthodox. And there's like a part where he's like, he grabs a lightsaber with his foot and stabs a guy with it and shit.
Yeah, I've seen a bit on that, on General Grievous in that show.
He's a fucking monster in that show, and I love it. His voice acting's a bit because they just have like a generic bad guy voice, and it just doesn't fit. Like his voice he has nowadays. Like, you know, General Grievous for having that weird cough asthma voice, because, you know, every bad guy in Star Wars has a horrible lung condition.
Well, isn't the reason for that, the reason that he has that cough is because Mace Windu, like, crushes... Yeah, it happens in the show. He like, crushes
it also
his breathing, whatever.
That's another thing. That show also implies that Mace Windu is the only Jedi that knows no fear. Because he's the only one that's composed enough to crush General Grievous like a fucking bug.
Yeah, didn't he like invent his own lightsaber form?
Yes, General Grievous has his own lightsaber form. No, I mean Mace Windu. Helicopter. Oh yeah, Mace Windu did. He also dabbles in the dark side, so like, you know, that's why he crushed his lung cavity.
And he's played by Sam Jackson, so like, you know, he's a badass.
Yeah. I heard there is truth to the rumor that his lightsaber said "bad motherfucker" on the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard it either said "bad motherfucker" or it just said BMF, but either way,
I think it was
something
BMF,
like that.
On the very bottom of it.
Yeah, I mean, if Sam Jackson was on your movie, you would do that for him.
Like, if he asked me, if I had Samuel Jackson or like Keith David on set for something and they asked me to do something for them, I would totally do it. Those two are my fucking... like, all-time favorite, like, voice actors, whatever you want to call them. Like, Keith David's voice is just such a fucking great voice. You ever see the old HBO Spawn?
No.
He plays Spawn, and, like, he is the only person I feel like that can actually play Spawn. Because, like, his voice just fits so well for that character. Just such a... an iconic voice. But, no, back to the Star Wars thing, though. Like, in that show, in that prequel series, he's this badass and shit, and he only becomes lame because Mace Windu literally gives him lung cancer. And then you get the new series they made, the canon shit, you know, with Ahsoka and all that crap.
Yeah, the Clone Wars.
And it's like General Grievous loses to fucking Gungans. He gets his ass kicked by a bunch of, like, really, the shittiest race in the entire galaxy. Even the Empire getting wiped out by Ewoks wasn't a bigger disgrace. Fucking, they imprison General Grievous and he has to be ransomed off to Count Dooku. That's literally how the episode went. It was bullshit. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So, like, they keep trying to make him seem more cool and badass and shit. And, like, this is the part that makes me so mad. There's an episode. It's one of my favorite things because it, explores more like of the mysticism in the Star Wars universe, like with the Night Sisters and shit. Yeah. And what happens is the Night Sisters, along with Ventress, are trying to assassinate Dooku by like doing some voodoo shit on him. And so Dooku sends General Grievous to wipe them out. And there is a fight in the beginning where Ventress challenges Grievous to an actual duel, and they actually like fight it out and shit. But Grievous loses, but you know, he's a bad guy, so he tells the people to kill them all anyways. The reason why that's bullshit is because there's, like, an entire pile of, like, Star Wars fucking Clone Wars shit, like comics and the old show, that show that General Grievous absolutely wrecked her ship every time they fought. It's bullshit. Like, I don't know if I have the book with me anymore, but I had this Star Wars comic book, and like it's like a bunch of like stories in it. And the very first one was General Grievous has to fight Dirge and Ventress, and he just systematically wipes them out. He just like mops the floor with their asses in like seconds.
Yeah,
it's like nah.
I mean, what are you supposed to do with a character that powerful?
Apparently, have him lose to fucking fish people. I hate it so much. It's like Grievous in the new Clone Wars is nothing compared to the old one. Like, I love General Grievous. He's one of my favorite bad guys, but he's like a Power Rangers villain. He's just so incompetent in the new shit. He loses to everything. Like, the one time he, like, wins, he always like, they put a bomb on the ship. We have to leave. And he's like, God damn it. Why do they keep outsmarting me with the same maneuver? It's amazing. Obi-Wan Kenobi is truly a tactical genius. I just hate it.
Yeah, like, I just had when you mentioned Grievous, I had like a flashback to when I was at Disney World. I must have been like 9 or 10. Did you meet General
Grievous and he like accidentally fall over when he went to shake your hand?
No. What happened was I was in line at their like Star Wars section, and the attraction that I was at was like Jedi Academy, duel Darth Vader and get a Jedi Academy diploma, cute little kid shit. It was nice. It was real fun. And when I was waiting in line, I was like talking to this other kid around my age, and I don't know how it came up, but like he was talking about Grievous, but he was pronouncing it Grievous, like pronouncing the I. And I was like, no, it's Grievous. He was like, actually it's Grievous because there's an I in it. And I was like, no. As someone who's seen the movies, I know that it's pronounced Grievous. And he was like, and then he pulled out,
like, hello there, General Grievous.
He pulled out his novelization of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. And he was like, Grievous. And I was like, no.
It's like, even fucking Tarkovsky even says, the guy that made the character is like, his name is General Grievous. Like, they actually have him say, it's General Grievous, run!
It's not even a debate. This kid was just saying it wrong. And I'm still not at peace over it.
I don't blame you. If that happened with me, I'd, like, find this kid and just... I would make a fucking knife in the shape of General Grievous's stupid fucking like side ear thing and just stab him with it. It's like, what's that? Are you feeling a grievous knife in ya? Did you feel like you made a grievous mistake? I don't even know what the word means. I'm just gonna kill you.
I mean, it's extreme, but it is desperate extreme, times, desperate measures.
It's such a fucking Grievous. Oh my god. My favorite character is Captain Phasma. I wish they did more with her, like give her a name I could pronounce.
I just want to know where that kid is now.
My favorite Star Wars character from the original trilogy was Leia. Are you familiar with Luke Skywalker?
I was gonna call him Lucky Skywalker.
Lucky Skywalker. It's like a Sonic character. You can't really do anything with Rey. Her name is too just generic. Ree.
So do you want to get into the Star Wars
yes, I want to
episode
talk
9
about
thing?
The Star Wars that we deserve, god damn it. I was watching fucking Mr. Sunday Movies. Go check him out. Great channel.
Yeah, I was just watching him before the show. I was watching his breakdown of FanDome.
I haven't seen that yet. I saw his Easter egg videos for the Batman thing. But, no, back to the Star Wars thing, though. Like, he was talking about the old script that they released and shit, and it's such a fucking better story. Like, Palpatine isn't resurrected, and like the story mostly follows like Kylo Ren trying to find more Sith artifacts and shit, and they build up all of the last like First Order characters, like him and Hux, and I think they added a couple more. Like, they also kill off the Knights of Ren like very easily. Those guys have like no involvement in either story, which is kind of bullshit. But what are you supposed to do with them? I
wouldn't know what to do with them.
Like, oh, here's this cult of Kylo Ren worshippers. We're not going to show them at all ever. Oh, we should probably show them. Here they are.
Kylo Ren's boy band.
Yeah, it's such a fucking shitty boy band too. But the story mostly follows Kylo Ren doesn't rebuild his mask. Instead, he gets like he's like messing around in Vader's castle. And he like triggers a booby trap or something. Like explodes in his face.
Yeah.
And he gets like horribly disfigured. So they put like metal bits all over him and shit. It looks like a cyborg. It looks awesome. But him and Hux are like hunting for Sith artifacts. Like, Hux is trying to do it to gain more power so he can like usurp Kylo, and he wants to become like Force sensitive or some shit. And Kylo's like trying to like follow the Sith path that Darth Vader couldn't and shit. And you get to see more of that. Like, they even have their own like version of the cave on Dagobah, but for Siths. So it's basically you're following Kylo's journey as he becomes more like into a Sith Lord. And like Rey and all of them are like they're still doing shit. Like at one point you see Rey, she's got a double-bladed blue lightsaber.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice shit. Like, even her storyline though in this version is so much better, because instead of it being like some stupid like, are you a Palpatine or Skywalker? It's like, what if we reinvented the Jedi Order and, like, you know, didn't have it be the bullshit it used to be? And Luke's like, no, but wait, what if we kept it? And, like, there's this whole debate over, like, keep tradition or, like, change it and make it better and stuff. And it's just an overall much more, like, interesting plot line to follow than, I'm a Palpatine. The only other Force-sensitive family in the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Before I forget, there's this video that I watched. It came out 4 months ago, and it was basically like a fan who kind of rewrote the sequel trilogy. The title is Rise of Skywalker Disappointed Me, so I rewrote, or I reworked the whole Star Wars sequel trilogy. From what I remember, it was amazing. I'm going to send it to you, and I'm going to link it in the description because everyone should watch it. Now, you can continue.
Yeah, but like, where was I? Oh, yeah, like, her storyline is so much better in that one than what we got in the actual movie. Finn also, instead of just saying Rey a bunch of times and then, like, disappearing off screen, has an actual story arc that is good. It continues an idea that was in a deleted scene from episode 8. I really wish that was in, which was a different version of Captain Phasma's death, which I will also talk about because that's such a bullshit fucking execution of a character. But what happens is, I already said that the play, like, most of the movie takes place on Coruscant, right?
You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, well, like, the idea is it mostly takes place on Coruscant because it's, like, the core planet, and, like, the First Order have, like, completely, like, redid the whole everything there. Like, they even have, like, their own, like, fucking, like, over-tower platform shit that Hux lives in.
Yeah.
And, so basically, Finn and a bunch of the other Resistance members go to the lower sections of, like, old Coruscant where the Jedi Temple is, and they discover that a whole bunch of, like, First Order deserters are living there because apparently, like, after Finn left, a bunch of other people are like, oh, fuck it, I'll just go too. And they sort of, like, rally behind them, and, like, Finn becomes this more, like, leader character and shit. You know, he has some growth and development as a character.
As opposed to just being a stormtrooper defector that kills the people he grew up with.
All of them. Yeah, that always pissed me off, too. It's like, why? He doesn't even try to talk to any of them.
And these are like the people that like, these are like his classmates. These are people that are just as able to turn away from the Empire as he was.
And that's why I love that fucking deleted scene where Phasma dies, because instead of her just falling down an elevator shaft and exploding, they had a scene where Finn confronts her and shit. And, like he cuts off her hand with her own like spear thing and all this other shit. And it's at this part where like a bunch of First Order jet troopers or whatever like surround them, and like Finn talks them into like trying to kill Phasma and shit. And so like there's a whole scene where she's fighting them all off, and Finn like kills her, and like she kills the other guys though. She like executes all of them like in like a cool like I wanna just shoot you all real quick with my pistol shit, which is also Silver because you know she has a motif she's got to follow.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's just an awesome scene though because it's like, hey, Finn actually does something other than execute his former comrades. And it's just, I wish they did more with that. Even more with Phasma. Like I'm fine with her dying in the second movie. I just wish there was more, I guess, threat. Like, I'm sick of all these, like, Boba Fett kind of characters where they exist just to be there and then die immediately. Like, the only example I can think of from the prequel trilogy is General Grievous, and even he had more stuff to do. He actually fought people. Fucking Boba Fett gets eaten alive almost immediately. And Phasma sent down an elevator shaft to explode.
Yeah.
Both of them have a kill count of, like, 2. Grievous at least killed, like, I think 3 people.
Well, the prequel trilogy also had, like, the Trade Federation. They didn't really do shit beyond just being a plot device, I guess. Union.
I love that scene, though, in the prequels, where fucking all of the Separatists are on Mustafar, and it's all of the guys from Episode 2's, like, little council room thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Who are these people? Oh, wait, they're in that 10-minute scene. Not 10-minute, 10-second scene. It's like, why can't we have more of the Techno Union with their beats?
Yeah, I
want to hear them wubs.
Yeah, I honestly think Star Wars is a prime example of a franchise where the universe is more interesting than the movies.
Oh yeah, because like now with how the movies are set up, it's just a single bloodline versus another one. It's just like it's just so boring. I don't care if Palpatine comes back.
Yeah, honestly,
it's
the
Palpatine.
movies are, even the original trilogy, they're just so like, I don't want to say dull, but they're dull compared to the universe that they're set in.
Trilogy though. Like, at least with the original trilogy, there wasn't all this extra shit thrown into it and stuff. Like, the idea was like, oh yeah, there's aliens, and it's a fight between the Empire and the Rebels. And then, like, all this extra lore is being added to it. It's like, oh yes, and Boba Fett is there, and he's like an accomplished bounty hunter. Also, there's like 100 other things going on. Look, Jedis.
Yeah,
original. What if we had an entire race of them?
Yeah, the original trilogy, you gotta really put yourself into that, like, 70s, never seen good sci-fi mentality.
Yeah. No, just with all the extra stuff added to the universe, though, like, the original trilogy does not look good. Like, if you were to watch, for example, watch Rogue One, that scene where Darth Vader wrecks shit in that, in the corridor, and then, like, watch episode 4.
Yeah, in universe, in the span of like half an hour, he goes from being the most fearsome warrior in the galaxy to like
just walks,
lightly tapping his saber, in his duel with Obi-Wan.
It's just, I love Star Wars, but there's a problem with a lot of it, and a lot of the problems is that it's hard to get them all to connect right. Like, even compare the old universe, like the old technology in like the prequels to what they had in the original trilogy. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah,
shit goes downhill.
Like, that scene where they're on Geonosis in the second movie, and like it's Dooku talking to Poggers. I forgot what his name is. I don't remember his name. It's like Pog something. So it's the Poggers Geonosian, and like he's like, "This is the Death Star. We're going to build it," and like they leave. Like there's like 100 holograms in there. Like all this other shit. Fucking Episode 4. Most of the computers they had were the same kind that you'd like fucking use in a hacker movie.
Well,
like,
it was made in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I know, but it's just an inconsistent universe, and I always hate it
Yeah.
when they do that. Like, I can look past it. Like Prometheus, for example, from Aliens, is like, look at all these advanced holograms and shit, and then like you remember Alien and like the ship they have, and it's just like, why the fuck would you have any of this technology when there's a hologram that can accurately replicate a human being?
Well, the way that I justify it is in the original
It's probably like
trilogy.
a company vehicle, so it's cheaper.
What you see most of the time in the original trilogy, you see like the Rebel Alliance and what they have, and it's not very advanced. But I mean, what do you expect from a ragtag group of political terrorists? You know?
Yeah, and that makes sense. But then you look at the Empire shit, and it's like, it's all like nice looking and stuff. It looks high tech, but like at the same time, though, you compare to what the Republic had.
Yeah, it's not
So, like,
airtight.
look at the bridge. Look at the bridge of a Star Destroyer and compare that to a Republic cruiser.
Yeah, my justification is not airtight, but you know, you just gotta
Like,
put yourself in that mentality. Like, okay, no one has good technology because it's been a while since there was like free enterprise or whatever. Everyone's poor now.
That's exactly what it is. Emperor Palpatine's just sitting on a golden throne. It's like, yep, that would explain everything. It's like, finally, the best chair for the Senate. It's made out of everyone else's money.
At least it makes sense for the Rebel Alliance for them not to have, you know, high tech stuff, because it's like, you know, it's not like ISIS has nukes, you know.
Yeah,
they don't.
ISIS doesn't have nukes.
They don't get the top of the line shit because they're like a ragtag group of political terrorists.
Yeah. But it's just such a disconnect, though, when you go from, like, a Star Destroyer, like, if you look in the, like, you look at a cruiser from fucking Clone Wars or whatever, and they got, like, touch screens, and there's, like, blinking lights everywhere and shit, and you look at a Star Destroyer, and there's, like, this guy has to flick a switch every 5 seconds, or else the bathrooms explode. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Why did you decommission the other ships? They apparently are more advanced.
Well, that's why it was a mistake to make prequels instead of just, you know, a sequel trilogy. Then you could have higher tech stuff.
Even if they did prequels and stuff, a thing that they could have done to fix it is keep it not as modern sci-fi, but do retro sci-fi. Make it look like how it looked back then.
Keep it lo-fi.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't have to be, like, you can still have all these, like, sweeping expanses and, like, beautiful shots and shit, and, like, holograms and stuff. But, like, don't add more advanced technology.
Yeah, keep the CGI banthas and all that, but just give us shittier technology.
Like, it just, I don't know, it feels like going from the Clone Wars era shit into the Galactic Civil War stuff. It feels like at some point, there should have been in the timeline, the apocalypse happens, and then this is afterwards. Everything just looks more like worn out and horrible and stuff. It's like, how did it get this bad?
I guess at some point between episode 3 and 4, everyone gets like super into thrifting.
It's just a weird thing to think about, though, is like how advanced everything was during the time of war, and then like now here's the Galactic Empire, which is the biggest superpower in the galaxy, and everything's worse. The galaxy is currently not at war with anyone besides a few terrorist cells. There should be, if anything, more technological advancements. It's like, what, did the Empire not believe in technology? Is it like the book burnings? They just start burning, like, printer presses because they don't want people to make more fucking, like, computers that are a touchscreen?
Maybe that's it. Maybe.
It's just, I love Star Wars, but goddamn, I hate sci-fi movies when they do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just remembered. I was supposed to talk about the episode 9 we didn't get. I forgot to mention. There's a part, though, where they're going to use this beacon thing, the warning system that everyone uses in episode 3, to relay a message throughout the galaxy to, like, bring all of their support there, because they're like, it's just a small group of them besides the stormtrooper refugees or whatever, So like they're trying to get everyone else to get to Coruscant so they can launch this assault and like actually finish the fight and whatever. So they do that because this like for some reason I think First Order just can't pick up the signal from the Jedi Temple. It's like probably some like they have an oversight because it's an older model or some shit like that, and they just don't think people were going to use it.
It's an older code, but
like,
it still checks out.
Basically, like, and they have this whole thing though, where it's like that fan service scene where it's like, oh, look at all these spaceships you remember, but it's like actually you can tell the characters and who they are when they show up.
Remember
like,
Slave One?
Up and shit.
Remember the A-Wing? Remember the Y-Wing? Remember the
No
B-Wing?
one remembers the.
Remember the
half the ships
C-Wing?
they showcased were from like 70s era extra lore shit, like Shadow of the Empire.
Remember
Who
that
the fuck is gonna
McDonald's toy
care
you
if
got
this
in
ship shows up?
1983? Yeah, that's in here too.
Remember those McDonald's toys that were like the spaceships, but they had the bobbleheads? Imagine one of those showed up. The fucking
I had
the AT-AT driver one shows up.
I had a Transformer. It was Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was when they did a Star Wars crossover. So it was a Obi-Wan Kenobi Transformer that would transform into the Starfighter.
His spaceship.
Yeah, his ship. And imagine that shows up.
Oh my God. It just transforms into Obi-Wan. It's a Gundam.
We need everyone.
Fuck yeah.
Even the Transformers. Everyone.
It's not even a Transformer. No, it's like you remember fucking Spaceballs and how like their ship turned into a big robot maid? It's like that. Some guy's spaceship just turns into a giant Obi-Wan. It's a mech now. It's like, don't worry, guys, I got this.
Japanese Spider-Man's Megazord shows up.
Leopleurodon! It's called Leopleurodon. Get it right, Alex. Little Spider-Man, emissary from hell. I fucking love that. The emissary of hell.
Who would win the fight?
Spider-Man.
Palpatine or the emissary from hell? Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, the emissary from hell has a fucking mech, so... But Palpatine's got them base boosting lasers. It's a tie. But like, no, like the thing is, though, for that whole like fan service scene, though, they're gonna have like a bunch of people like show up, like fucking Bosk and like some of the other bounty hunters from the lineup were gonna show up to help them out and shit. And they're gonna have like all of the resistance, and like this was made before Carrie Fisher passed, so she was gonna show up, and Lando too, and all this other shit. And it's like it's like the gang's all together again. Now we're gonna fuck shit up, and like they have like this really nice scene. Like there's a part in their concept art book for it, and it's like this beautiful shot of like Coruscant, like at war with itself, and it's Hux's death scene where he like kills himself because he doesn't want to deal with all the like, you know, him being an actual Nazi. He doesn't want to deal with
Nuremberg.
Yeah, so it's a scene where it's like this like nicely done thing where he like pulls out the lightsaber, one of the lightsabers he has, and just impales himself on it, like a dishonored samurai. It's fucking
wow.
Why can't we have that? It's such a nicer scene for a character that doesn't get any of the stuff he deserves. Like what happens in the new movie? He gets shot in the leg and then immediately executed. Hux is like Hux is the toilet paper for the shit that is the sequel trilogy. They just rub him all over it and then throw him away.
Hux got done dirty.
It. He did. I wanted him to be an actually threatening villain, because like they built him up so nicely in that one scene where he's like, you know, giving that rousing speech to the First Order and everything. It's like, so this is supposed to be the Turrican, and it's like, no, it's not. He's just the footstool. There's a scene where he literally gets mopped across the floor after breaking his nose. It's like, I hate that so much. But yeah, no, the ending was basically like, it's all happily ever after. They save the universe, and like Rey decides to like adopt both principles of like the old ways and new to make like a new shit for all the other Jedi, and they release a beacon now and everything. And it's like,
Yeah, that
now they're
sounds
gonna
good.
rebuild. Yeah, it's a perfectly good way to end it. You know, still open-ended enough to have more shit, but no, Rey Skywalker. That's how we should end it. I hated that. Such a stupid thing for them to do.
Yeah, that movie didn't even feel real. Like when it
I'm not
opened and I saw Palpatine, I was like, they're not doing this.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to mention.
Palpatine has returned.
Felt like a fan fiction. Now, the one thing that I wanted to mention during the Vader Immortal section, the opening when Kylo Ren is on that planet, like slashing through those guys. It's kind of like a forest that he's in.
Do you go there?
That's Mustafar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah! That's awesome.
By that point, all the shit has grown back.
Hell yeah! That's some pretty cool lore then. It's a shame Mustafar went from a boring gray fire world to a boring gray lush jungle.
Yeah.
That planet's just a lack of color palette.
I mean, being in playing Vader Immortal and like kind of being immersed in Mustafar, it is kind of cool.
You probably see much better shit for it, yeah.
It looks pretty cool. It's quite a view.
I believe you. No, most games do that kind of shit more justice than movies ever can.
Yeah.
Like, the last few movies I've seen with like actual like beautiful like breathtaking views, like I think Lord of the Rings. That's just because New Zealand is like such a fucking breathtaking place.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like, I don't know. Star Wars is they're done with the Skywalker shit, hopefully. So I hope we get an actual interesting story next. Mandalorian's looking pretty good so far. Sounds like they're bringing back Boba Fett and some other characters.
Really? I haven't heard much about Mandalorian Season 2. Do you know when it's coming out?
Soon, because they finished filming before quarantine happened.
Nice. I'm gonna look that up.
I know that they have Ahsoka confirmed, and everyone believes it's going to be Boba Fett.
Ahsoka's going to be in it?
Guy that, yeah.
Nice.
She is confirmed to be returning. They haven't shown any set pictures yet, but they have said Ahsoka's coming back for Mandalorian. But
that's crazy.
They also are gonna. Well, they're also probably either gonna bring Captain Rex from the Clone Wars back or Boba Fett. It looks more like it's gonna be Boba Fett because there was that after credits scene with the guy walking up to the dead bodies, and that guy has Boba Fett's boots.
Oh. So I'm looking at this article.
Guy stole his shoes, or
I'm looking at this article, and it says it's it looks like it's going to be released on Disney Plus in October.
Oh fuck yeah! I cannot wait. I hope they release all of the episodes, and we don't have to wait for any of them.
No, I kind of liked having it be a weekly thing because then it's
but
you can either watch the whole thing in a day or you get weeks of entertainment and like speculating on what's going to happen next, and it becomes more of like a community thing because everyone's experiencing it in real time.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like I'm not working with the guy that I worked with that was also into Mandalorian as much as I was. Now I'm working with people who don't even know what a TV, what a Netflix is. It's terrible, Alex.
When it comes out, we can do weekly speculation.
Let's do it. That'll be a new thing I'll bring to the podcast. We'll talk about Mandalorian.
That'll keep us going for a few weeks.
Yes.
So, speaking of new movies and stuff coming out, Bill and Ted 3. I want to talk about Bill and Ted 3 for just a minute. So,
gotcha.
The day that this comes out, Bill and Ted 3 will be released. Obviously, we don't have early access to it, so we can't review it this week, but next week when it comes out, we'll have our initial thoughts on it, and we'll have our reaction. And we'll probably do like a retrospective on the whole series, to see, just, give our thoughts on it. But yeah, it's coming out this Friday, the 28th, which is the day that this podcast will be up. So on September 4th, on that week's episode, we'll have our review.
Hell yeah. Hopefully.
So yeah, we can get into FanDome news.
Oh yes. So I am honestly really excited for a lot of the stuff coming out with DC now. It seems like they finally found like their soul, I guess, when it comes to making these movies. Because like the last few DC movies haven't been too bad, and like the shows have just been tremendous. Like Titans was not a good show in my opinion, but Doom Patrol.
I didn't have high expectations for it.
Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, when the commercial is just like every edgy Tumblr post I've ever seen, it's like this girl has all these problems and everyone's looking down on her, and then
she's
Robin's
different.
like, "Fuck Batman."
She's not like other girls. Robin's not like other adaptations of Robin. He's different. He's quirky.
I like how it's like he's a different version of Robin, but it's just Red Hood.
Yeah, it does seem like he's just Red Hood.
Like he hates Batman and he kills criminals.
And he
That's
says
Red
fuck.
Hood. Yeah, exactly. That's Red Hood's favorite word. Fun fact. But no, it's like I saw also like a lot of the new stuff for the fucking new Doom Patrol, not Doom Patrol, new Suicide Squad like movie or show or whatever it is they're making.
I haven't seen anything on that. What does it look good?
Character and heart. It looks really nice. Like they have a better cast of characters to use. Like they have Harley Quinn still. I think she's gonna be on there a lot because it's Harley Quinn.
And is it still James Gunn directing it?
I don't remember. I had to look at that again. I only just recently saw a little bit up for it and stuff. But the characters they have, the cast for them is like, you have Polka Dot Man and shit. And like, I think returning characters from the previous movie is Rick Flag, Amanda Waller, Harley Quinn, and Captain Boomerang. Everyone else is new. They have fucking Bloodsport, who is my favorite, like, really shitty DC villain. Like, his whole thing is that he kills people with sports equipment.
Really?
It's gonna be great. Polka Dot Man also coming into Suicide Squad is also gonna be amazing because
now
he's
who
another
would win in a
villain I
fight?
love.
Who would win in a fight? Polka Dot Man or Kite Man?
Probably Polka Dot Man, because Kite Man, all he has is a big kite. Polka Dot Man throws polka dots, so all he has to do is throw a polka dot and like put a hole in Kite Man's kite and he wins. But they also got fucking King Shark is gonna be in the new Doom. I keep wanting to say Doom Patrol, but it's fucking Suicide Squad. And if you aren't familiar with who King Shark is it's basically Killer Croc, but as a shark.
Nice.
The thing though that makes me happy about that though is from the sounds of it, they're making it more like the character from Harley Quinn, who was just this like big doomer. And I love that. It's just such a stupid and great idea. It's like here's a shark that just got really existential for no reason.
So they DC put out a few more trailers. They put out one for Wonder Woman 1984.
That also looked good.
Yeah, it kind of.
I'm a bit upset though, because in the commercials they show the Wonder Woman in like that golden armor with the wings. I for real thought they were gonna bring Hawk Girl into the universe now. I'm so mad. Why can't we get fucking Hawk Girl?
I mean, what is Hawk Girl? What's her deal?
Hawk Girl has wings and a fucking mace, but she's like. Have you ever seen Justice League Unlimited?
No.
It was an old cartoon. There was a cartoon movie for it. You know Batman in the Animated Series?
Yeah, I have very surface level knowledge of DC.
It takes place with the characters from that and everything. And the thing is, though, like, Justice League Unlimited was one of the greatest, like, adaptations of a lot of the Justice League things. They had differences, of course, but it just kept the same heart to it, you know? But Hawkgirl, though, was one of the better characters in it, and in DC, she is one of the main members of the Justice League, and I think she gets together with the Flash? Trying to remember. Her. But the point is, like, no, she's just one of the characters that are just more like bruiser type, I guess. Like, just get in and wreck some shit and then leave. And it's like, I want more of that. Like, everyone we have is just like the generic, this is the guy that stinks a lot. This is the guy that, like, has superpowers. I just want someone with a club just to come in and just wreck some shit. Where's those characters, goddammit?
Exactly. So, anyway, back to the Wonder Woman 1984. So,
yes.
I didn't notice this at first, but when I was thinking back on it, I realized, like, the dynamic between Diana and Chris Pine's character, I don't remember his name.
We'll
just call him
FBI
Chris Pine.
Army Man.
So the relationship between Diana and Chris Pine in the second movie seems like an inverse of their relationship in the first movie, where in the first one, you know, she was, like, new to everything. He had to show her around and basically, like, explain that we live in a society. And now in the second one, it seems like he's been in a coma or something. I don't know. He's been somewhere between World War I and 1984. By the way, aging perfectly.
No, there's probably some more like truth to the he was frozen theory. He might be that universe's Captain America.
See, no, that doesn't make sense because he's aged a little bit. He looks like he's a bit older. He's got, like, some gray in his hair and stuff, but, you know, he should be, like, in his 90s, right?
Yeah.
So
unless he's Captain America.
I guess he moisturizes. And anyway, she's been around, you know, she knows what's up. And she has to tell him about, like, fanny packs and parachute pants. And he's like, whoa. He's like, what is all this?
Wow.
Which was exactly what she was like in World War I, when it was like, whoa, what are men? What is a dress? And why are we at war?
Those exact questions too. What are men? He got hit in the head. So it's really hard to donk on the noggin.
So yeah, the new Wonder Woman trailer looks great. I'm excited for that to come out. Can't wait to see it.
How about the Robert Pattinson new movie?
Yeah, Rob Batten Bat.
Yep.
Yeah, since we're just gonna be the Weekly Planet, let's just rip off all of their in-jokes.
That's what we're turning into. That's the end goal.
Each week, we're going to impersonate a different podcast. Next week, I'm going to talk to you about DMT and Himalayan salt lamps and vitamin D supplements.
And I will tell you that the coronavirus isn't real.
So anyway, the Batman trailer.
Elon Musk.
Oh, okay. So the speaking of Elon Musk, the Batman trailer looks great. Looks like just different enough of a take to be its own movie.
I hear it's more leaning into the mystery like shit, like the actual investigating crap.
Yeah, like Detective Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like there hasn't been a lot of detective work in Batman movies.
Oh God, no. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this version of Batman, like, I believe it's year 2, right? He's pretty early on. kind of still trying to make a name for himself. And obviously this is a another dark adaptation of the character. I guess we're still on this side of the pendulum where like after George Clooney, you know, we had to get like more serious Batman to remind everyone like, hey, this is a dark character, okay? But I don't know. I feel like at this point we've had enough of like, you know, the Dark Knight and, you know, the whole Nolan trilogy, and we got Zack Snyder's take on Batman. It's all just dark, gritty stuff. I feel like we could use some silly Batman at this point.
Oh yeah, but I feel like though, with how Batman is being portrayed nowadays, is like he's just this very like brooding character. Like even in like comedy shows, like the Harley Quinn show, for example, he's just this like overly serious character. Like that's like where the comedy for him is coming. Along.
I don't know. It just all seems to blend together for me. All the different versions of Batman that are just, it's just a variation of brooding, dark character. But like, I don't know. I feel like we just need a revival of like Adam West Batman. Like that kind of fun era. Yeah,
but like with DC, I don't know. Like, I feel like Marvel is better suited for more of the fun stuff, because DC stuff, they try to be more edgier, I guess.
I don't know. They can both do comedy. They can both do whichever they want. They're not restricted to one tone throughout their movies. You know, Marvel can be serious at times. They're allowed to do that. And Batman should be allowed to be, you know, just a little silly. But that being said, I do think this next one looks pretty good. So I think we should stick with this one. But once this one's done, once we get dark detective Batman, then we should get, you know, more lighthearted Batman stuff. Bring back the blue suit with the undies.
My friend Donovan has this great idea for a Batman story arc where it's like all of the where it's like we replace it. We take Nolan's Batman, put it in Adam West's universe, and we take Adam West's Batman and put it in Nolan's universe.
Yes, like a Flashpoint kind of thing, like universe swapping. I haven't seen Flashpoint, so I don't know.
That's basically what happens. Flash just fucks up the timeline.
Yeah,
and it's now Daddy Wayne is Batman and shit. But no, like, just imagine that. Just Adam West timeline. The Joker like throws a pie in someone's face, and then Batman comes and dislocates his elbow.
Yeah.
And then in the Nolan timeline, Adam West has his shark repellent, and he's getting shot at by criminals.
Like, I feel like that one would be a bit shorter. That movie would be a bit shorter.
He's just sitting behind like a fucking table screaming. He's like, "Oh my god, what the hell?
He just gets actually shot."
Guns. It's not even a fatal wound. He just looks and just starts yelling. He just shoots back. It's like, it's like that scene in I forget what it is, but it's like Jim Carrey gets shot in the knee with an arrow. He starts freaking out.
Or like the part in Austin Powers, you shot me in the arm. You know,
yeah.
Will Ferrell's character.
You shot me. Yes.
That guy deserves his own movie.
God, fucking Austin Powers deserves a sequel. Like, not like
they'd fuck
it already had
up.
a sequel, but yeah, probably. But I'd like to see them at least try one.
Maybe like an Austin Powers like Netflix show or something. I just don't want it to be like. I just don't want it to be something where they like take the brand too seriously, or they like try to make it like a quirky workplace sitcom.
Austin Powers, but it's just The Office.
They would do that. They would do that with zero self-awareness.
Yeah.
Or they would just make it like more of like a spy thriller without realizing like that's what they were making fun of originally.
Yeah. I hope they do that now. I just want to see how just horrible they make it.
That might break the internet if they fuck up Austin Powers that bad. You know, I remember hearing like in the last couple of years, like news like sporadically of a fourth Austin Powers movie, and I wonder where that's at now.
In the bottom of hell where it belongs.
There's an IMDb page for Austin Powers 4.
It's like, I want a new Austin Powers movie, but at the same time,
So
I don't
far,
want what they thought would be a good, like, a good sequel to it, because you know it's going to be horrible.
oh yeah,
You know,
the trilogy is already like
fucking
closed out with the third one. They bookended it. But anyway, here's what the Austin Powers 4 IMDb page says. Under description, the fourth installment in the Austin Powers series. Writer, Mike Myers. Star, Mike Myers. Under cast, credited cast
Mike
sorted
Myers.
by IMDb star meter. Mike Myers, Austin Powers, rumored.
Austin Powers, rumored.
Sam Brown, executive producer. Mike Myers, producer.
Austin Powers is rumored to show up in the new Austin Powers movie. That is my takeaway. I don't care if I am wrong.
So in 2018, it looks like Mike Myers confirmed in an interview that there is a fourth Austin Powers movie on its way. They're making it, and it says Dr. Evil will be returning, but it doesn't look like there's any word on when it'll come out.
You see,
I think it's just in production
Mike
purgatory.
Myers and not a studio, I will be happy, because I like Mike Myers. I know that he'll do good.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
But if it's some studio trying to cash in on it,
I think his
shit's gonna get stupid real fast.
You know how each movie he has like a companion, you know? First movie it's what's her name? Second movie it's the blonde chick. Third movie it's Beyonce. The next one should be Kanye.
You know, you're onto something there, Chief.
Like, remember that clip where they're talking about like hurricane relief, and out of nowhere Kanye West is like, George Bush doesn't care about black people. I just want that for the whole movie. Austin Powers like, hey there, Shagadelic. I'm not going to do the accent. Hey there, Shagadelic. Let's go defeat Dr. Evil. And Kanye's just like going on a rant about like Trump or something.
The burrito is too damn big.
He doesn't even know he's in a movie. He's like, hey, what the fuck is that frilly shit for?
Starts screaming at him.
That
I deserve to be president.
That movie would earn double its budget easily.
Oh,
I don't know why
amazing.
people don't make freakish movies like that.
Because they're cowards.
So, anyway, back to DC FanDome. There was a trailer released for the new Arkham game.
It doesn't look too bad. However, I did read the they released the little like bio card thing for Batgirl, and it is kind of dumb. Would you like to hear what they said?
What did they say?
She gets crippled. You know the things that happen.
So this is Barbara Gordon, right?
Yep, it is Barbara Gordon.
I was wondering about that.
She's inspired after her father's death to recover and then get strong enough to beat the Joker and shit. So after her father dies, she decides she's gonna cure being crippled.
She got shot in the spine, and she just
and then she
decides to no
hard
longer have a spinal injury.
Yep. Like, people were out that that's what happened in the New 52 and all that stuff. But in the New 52, she has like extensive reconstruction to her spine, and they like have to put in like a cyborg augment and shit just to get her to walk again.
So not only does she just through the power of sheer will, she just no longer has a spinal injury. Not only that, but she also becomes strong enough to be the next Batman.
Yep. Because Jim Gordon's dead. Also, that's bullshit. Why kill Commissioner Gordon? He should be there to give out your shitty side quests.
I barely remember the end of Arkham Knight. I know that, Bruce Wayne blows up his mansion and shit. Dies. Yeah, but does Jim Gordon die in that game?
No, he doesn't.
So they kill him off screen.
However, Barbara dies.
Barbara dies in the game in Arkham Knight?
Oracle dies.
Well, I know there's that part where it's like a fake out where it looks like she kills herself.
I'm not getting that confused then. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she makes it. It looks like she dies, but then later on it's like, hey, I'm alive. So they kill Jim Gordon off like between games?
I guess. There's probably a comic we need to read for it.
Yeah, there's probably going to be some Prelude shit. I feel like they've got Marvel with their Prelude comics. They've gotten a lot lazier. Because it used to be like, I think for like the Infinity War or like the Civil War Prelude comic, it was like what happened between the movies. Here's Captain America doing stuff. And the Black Widow Prelude comic is literally just a recap of Civil War.
Well, that's what she was doing before. Didn't you know?
It's just a comic adaptation of some of Civil War.
Yeah. Black Widow is always going to get shit on. For no reason.
Yeah, she usually gets the short end.
Appeal to the copophiliacs.
So anyway, back to this new Arkham game. It's not officially in the Arkham series. What was the title again?
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights. So, what do you think about it? Like, what are your expectations?
I think it might wind up being like the, you ever heard of, what is it? Agents of Mayhem? The Saints Row spin-off game?
No, I have not.
So they made a spin-off game to Saints Row after Get Out of Hell, which had a ending to it where Johnny... Are you familiar with Saints Row at least?
No.
Okay, so... Saints Row is GTA if the people who made GTA were high on LSD half the time. And were really into fart jokes.
Okay, this sounds great.
At one point, this gang, it starts off that these people are in a gang, and then they become international celebrities, like superstars, with their own brand and everything. And then they become the president. Then the Earth is destroyed by aliens. And that makes the president very not happy.
This feels like you describing a dream that you had.
This is a very real game series, and I love this game series. It's one of my favorites.
I'll have to check it out.
It's just really stupid jokes. I'm just gonna let you know right now. Like, it's just a really dumb game series. You have to turn your brain off if you want to enjoy most of it. But, anyways, there also is a part where, this character named Johnny Gat, in the third game it seems like he dies, but in the fourth game it's revealed he's not dead, he was just abducted by the aliens and all this other shit. So you save him, and this guy is like a legitimate, like, murderous psychopath. Like, he will kill people with bar stools and shit just for the hell of it. And at one point, the main character, which is you, and you can customize them however you want, in the fifth game, which is a spin-off game, it's called Get Out of Hell, because you play as Johnny Gat in that one. And,
I'm looking on Steam right now, and there's a DLC for Saints Row 4 called How the Saints Save Christmas. So,
yep. They save Santa Claus,
They save
who
Santa
is
Claus.
trapped in the simulation.
All right, that's the kind of
another
game we're
thing.
dealing with.
The world is destroyed.
Saints Row
but
the
there's a
Third,
virtual
Gangstas in
world.
Space.
Yep, that one is great.
Saints
because
Row
what
4
it is,
anime pack.
In Saints Row the Third, Gangsters in Space, you don't actually go to space.
Oh.
You are on a failing sci-fi movie like set where this guy's like legitimately trying to kill people, and it's stupid, so you just murder him. Like he's trying to make this awesome sci-fi movie, but it's all shit. There is one though. There's two other DLCs for that. There's Genki Bowl, which is based off of a TV show in the universe called Professor Genki's. What was it? Professor Genki's Murder Time, Fun Time, or some shit like that, and which is just blood sport. That universe just has a TV show that's all about watching people die horribly, and that's what that is. So they have a sport for it. This
yeah, that
universe
sounds
is
like
horrifying.
something that would happen. That sounds like something that would happen right now in America.
Yeah, but
like Wipeout. That's basically like what Wipeout is. Wipeout is blood sport.
No, how it's set up is you have to go through 3 rooms that are increasing and challenging. And you get to the last room, which is full of guns and money.
So is it more like Wipeout
like
or more like
Wipeout,
American Ninja Warrior? Like
Wipeout,
how much skill do these people have going in?
As long as you can shoot a gun, you're good. But it's like Wipeout because there are obstacles and stuff. It's mostly like a shitty maze of a chain link fence with machine gun turrets on the other side.
Okay, so this is like McCamey Manor.
Yeah, except, everyone's in a fursuit, and occasionally a guy will come down with, like, a stupid, like, bobblehead cat head on his head, and he has a rocket launcher.
So this is McCamey Manor.
Yeah, yes. Also, that guy, though, Professor Genki, will just randomly show up in the overworld with a rocket launcher just murdering people. Like, for no reason. There's, like, no, like, thing to spawn, and he just shows up, kills a bunch of people, dies, comes back later. But, the other DLC is called, Trouble with Clones. And in that one, they use this DNA from a guy named Oleg, who's, like, this giant, like, Russian super soldier, and they use Johnny Gat's sunglasses, and they accidentally make this, like, big, mentally challenged Johnny Gat Hulk monster, and it's also stupid and great. But, then in Saints Row 4, they become president of the boss becomes president of America, and then the world ends.
Like you do?
Yep. At the end of that one, you become president of space. Like you're not recognized by it. You just decide you are president of space.
Anyone can decide that you're president of space.
Yeah, but it's the boss, so he's probably gonna pack. They're gonna be like, if anyone comes between me and what I want, I'm going to blow them up. I already did that 5 times now. This is the 4th game. Now let's go save Santa Claus. And there's also Enter the Dominatrix, which is the canonical sequel afterwards. I forget what hell happens in that one. I believe there's a rogue program that tries to take over the virtual world where all of the people are living in because they're trying to find a new planet for humanity. This just gets really weird sci-fi shit. They also find a race of sentient raptor people and they befriend them. And then the spin-off Get Out of Hell happens, in which the boss's birthday happens and Kinsey, one of your companions, decides to bring out a Ouija board for fun, and you accidentally summon Satan, who wants the boss to marry his daughter, because the boss is the most evil person he's ever met. So Johnny Gat and Kenzie go to hell to save him. And at the very end, God, who is played by, what's his name? Hold on, I'm trying to remember. He plays Buck in Nathan Fillion, who is Nathan Fillion, tells Johnny Gat he can make a different universe for him and stuff like that as his reward, because he's he's had a tough life murdering all those innocent people. And
so he's a redeemable warlord.
Basically. But what happens in one of them is that the universe gets reset, and Johnny Gat's like a true detective now and all this other shit. And in that universe, Agents of Mayhem happened, and that game did not sell at all, and no one knows what it is. That has been my entire 30-minute long breakdown on Saints Row, just to get up to the point where I can tell you Agents of Mayhem was a game that had a lot of vibrant color palettes, and it's based off of a beloved game series, but it's a spin-off that no one wanted to see, and it just died on impact. And
So
I think
how-
that's what's going to happen with Gotham.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's how
I think
it
Gotham
ties
Knights
back.
is going to be just like that. Yep. Because it's similar in how everything looks and stuff. Even the art style looks just like Agents of Mayhem, where it's these popping colors and neon lights, and everything's kind of sci-fi-y. I just feel though, because it's Batman, maybe there'll be more than 8 people on the server on day one, but that's just hopeful thinking. This game got shit on. It wasn't Battleborn levels of no one cares about it, but it was pretty high up there.
I don't have super high expectations for Gotham Knights, but I think it'll be at least a breath of fresh air for the Arkham series, or I guess that franchise.
Maybe.
What it looks like to me is it looks like it'll be, with these 4 characters, 4 separate campaigns that cross over at points. I haven't done a whole lot of research into it. Of course, everyone's going to immediately want to play as Red Hood.
Well, yeah. Don't you?
The best superhero, guy with gun.
You're not wrong.
It's like when they added Joker to Smash. Just guy with gun.
This guy has a gun. Instantly the most played character.
So, speaking of guy with gun, I started the Avengers beta a couple days ago. So far, it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
The hero roster. So you start out playing through A-Day, Avengers Day, which is what was in the trailers. Where shit hits the fan. You play through that segment first, and you get to play as like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and Black Widow, guy with gun. So,
my favorite Avenger.
So once A-Day happens, there's a big explosion that creates the Inhumans, and the media is like, "Fuck the Avengers," and AIM is like, "Fuck the Avengers. Also, give us a bunch of funding so we can take over society and replace everyone with robots." And they're like, "Cool." And it basically becomes Robo Recall, but with Avengers.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so what it looks like now is instead of playing through a campaign, an open world campaign like Arkham City style, it's more there's a map on your war table with different missions, and some missions are character specific. So you go to this place as Hulk and you bust shit up and you get the part for whatever, a part to repair Jarvis or something.
I know what game this is. It's Marvel's Strike Force, but with a third-person camera.
Basically, yeah, from what I played so far, basically. You get to choose your character, and you get up to 3 companions. Right now, I have 4 characters unlocked. I have Iron Man, Black Widow, who haven't showed up in the campaign yet since A-Day, so kind of weird with that. But the characters that I played as in the campaign post A-Day are Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and Bruce Banner. So I have those 4 characters unlocked, and I can at this point go on different missions and collect stuff and upgrade the characters.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the story. Right now where I'm at, Kamala Khan and Bruce Banner are trying to track down Tony Stark and get him to like help them rebuild Shield. That you encounter Nick Fury pretty early on in the campaign, and Nick.
My question is it Black Nick Fury or White Nick Fury?
Yes.
What?
The Nick Fury design. I knew you'd love this. The Nick Fury design. It's basically like David Hasselhoff Nick Fury, like mixed with Sam Jackson Nick Fury.
What the fuck does that mean, Alex?
Hold on, I'll show you.
Those are two distinctly different people.
So he's got like the outfit and like, you know, the kind of the hair of David Hasselhoff Nick Fury, like white Nick Fury, like, you know, gray on the sides. And
okay, it's Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you a screenshot so you kind of get what
I feel like that might not look good.
No, it looks good.
It looks alright. Okay, he looks fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm just used to bald Nick Fury now. Him with hair just doesn't look right to me.
That's what fell off. Yeah, Sam Jackson Nick Fury is bald. I never I realized like this is like Sam Jackson Nick Fury, but something's different, and I didn't like consciously realize Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, of course I know he's bald, but when I was playing, I was like, something is different.
Put two and two together. It's like, why does this man look so different compared to the last time I saw him? His hair is gone.
So yeah, this one has hair. And has kind of like
I hate it.
The outfit of white Nick Fury, but he is
Nick Fury should not be allowed to have hair.
I wonder how this one lost his eye. Like whose cat scratched his eye out?
God damn it! Oh my god! Fuck yeah! So I'm playing Warzone a bit while we're talking. I'm just going through the menus. Apparently they released a new Tamagotchi watch for the game.
Nice.
This one has color. It's the next version. I have to pay $12 if I want it. What the fuck? Anyway, though, yeah.
So yeah, the
Marvel,
the gameplay is pretty fun. Each character is like slightly different. You get the same basic like, you know, press X to do a light attack, press Y to do a heavy attack, and you could most characters. Actually, I think all of the characters have a ranged attack. It just depends. It varies character to character what that ranged attack is. Like Hulk will throw like a rock, like he'll rip out a chunk of ground and throw it. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, she'll, you know, just stretchy punch someone. And Iron Man will shoot a repulsor, and Black Widow has guns. And, you know, Thor has his hammer. And Captain America has his shield. So, yeah, and then you get 3 different, like, left bumper is a type of special move. Right bumper is a kind of special move, and then both of them together is a different kind of special move.
Alright. I can vibe with that.
So, yeah, all of the characters, in theory, play the same. But, like, it feels different going from Thor to Captain America.
Yeah, because they're different, like, abilities and shit.
Yeah. I think it strikes a good balance of, you know, the controls being, you know, familiar going from character to character without it feeling like everyone just plays the same.
Yeah.
So, Jared, you had in the show notes Marvel versus DC. What did you want to mention about that?
I was gonna say, it seems like nowadays it feels like we're in like an inverse of how it was like 2 years ago, where Marvel's dominating the box office and like releasing like hit after hit, and DC was like just shit everything. Like nowadays, it looks like DC's like producing some like really good high quality shit, and Marvel's just like trying to figure shit out again. Like this new Avengers game, I know some people like it and stuff, but I keep seeing a lot more people like shitting on it, like why would they make this and stuff like that. And like there's like no movies coming out right now. Everything's like stopped development and shit.
Yeah, Black Widow should be coming out. Like they obviously they can't release it in theaters like normal, but you know, you'd think they'd put it out like on video on demand or like on Disney Plus or something.
Something. But then it's like, then you compare it to DC now, and like they've made several shows that are like getting up there in quality. Like people are actually like invested in DC shit. It's weird.
Okay, Black Widow, the release date is still listed as November 6th, which is what it was before. So, you know, hopefully it'll be out on Disney Plus by then.
Yeah.
There's people already reviewing it.
How?
Just on Google, audience rating summary. It's rated 4.8 stars. And the reviews are like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it. 5 stars. It's like, shut the fuck up. Don't review movies that you haven't seen. There was a problem with that with The King of Staten Island. When The King of Staten Island came out on video on demand, there people like left like 1-star reviews with either, yeah, this isn't available in Singapore, so I can't watch it, 1 star. Or like, really, $20 to rent this movie, 1 star.
I love people, Alex. People are great.
And it even goes in the other direction too, like 5 stars, can't see it, but I like Pete Davidson.
Ugh. Why can't like people just enjoy fucking movies and shit? Like, why does everything have to be so just like stupid? You know? Just
I know.
Fucking watch the movie you like. Don't fucking like review bomb a thing because it's not what you wanted, or like fucking review a movie before it's even a movie.
Exactly.
I'm sad, Alex.
But no, back to Marvel versus DC though. I kind of get a sense that like how the movies were, where you'd have Marvel build up years of continuity and then release the Avengers, you know, as a culmination of, you know, all that stuff. And DC would go from Man of Steel to Batman v Superman immediately just to Justice League within the span of 3 years. I feel like it's kind of the inverse of that with the video games, where you get the whole Arkham series and then that transitions to Gotham Knights. And now we have like a Spider-Man game and then immediately jump to Marvel's Avengers, which doesn't even seem to be connected to the Spider-Man game, is it?
Anything. They say it is, but I feel like it's like how they said Venom is in the MCU, where it's like, you know, a blatant lie.
I'm upset about Spider-Man being a PS4 exclusive character.
Oh, I feel you, man. It's stupid. Like, they're in their right to do it, though, so what are we gonna do?
I mean, legally they have the right to do it, but like, it's bad PR, I think.
Yeah. No, I get you, man. But Sony appeals to their demographic, which are people that like Sony games. So they're not going to, like, stop because, oh no, someone on a different console than what we have is like,
Okay, so I
I
Googled Marvel's Avengers Spider-Man to like see if there was any updates on it. And Spider-Man's like bio came up on Google, and under date of birth it says August 10th, 2001. I thought I was finally older than Spider-Man, but it turns out he's just a little bit older than me still.
Get wrecked, Alex. Oh my god, I can bully Spider-Man.
Oh, it's Spider-Man's birthday was 2 weeks ago exactly, as of this recording.
Everyone knows Doc Ock is the superior Spider-Man.
Of course.
God, I just love, though, I never really thought about this before, but Superior Spider-Man has one of the most creepy Doc Ock moments, where he's, like, fallen in love with a girl the same age as Peter Parker, who is 3 times younger than him. Doc Ock I understand you're in the body of an adolescent boy, but you are a grown-ass adult. You tried to marry that boy's grandmother once, and even that was like, that makes sense. They're about the same age.
She's not his grandmother. It's his 90-year-old aunt, obviously.
I love that. How old was Spider-Man's mom? If that's his aunt, what's Peter's mother's age?
Well, Aunt May isn't even biologically related to him.
That's right, it's Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Ben
Who was
is
also 90.
his dad's brother.
That's what it was. How old was his dad?
Good question.
You know, I realize now why I thought that Aunt May was Spider-Man's, like his mom's sister. It's because, like, it's kind of weird that someone who now has no ties to this family is still looking after the adult boy from that family.
Like, at least in family goes beyond blood, you know?
You're 90 years old, he's 32. One of you move out.
No, I get it. Like, you raised this boy, and it was, you know, your lover's nephew. So, like, you gotta step up. I get it.
However, this opens up the door to where it's now okay if they were to ever date. Because they're not related by blood.
You know, there's more stopping that scenario from happening than just that. Like their 70-year age difference.
Did that stop all of those warlords? Those redeemable warlords? And we've come full circle. No, but you know that shit probably exists somewhere on the internet. People.
Oh, of course, Rule 34.
Someone looked at the Spider-Man grandma and thought, you know, that's a thick piece of ass.
Oh. Alright, that's a good place to leave this. It's been a number of hours. Do you have any
2 hours?
Do you have any closing remarks? It's been a number of hours. Do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, no, like, we should totally, like, since the Snyder Cut was able to happen, let's try and get the fucking other version of Star Wars made.
Yeah, let's get the what's-his-name cut.
Come on. Yeah, I'll find the guy's name and we'll put him in the description.
Yeah.
We're like, let's fucking protest. I want blood to run in the streets until we get a new Star Wars. A Star Wars I can feel good about!
Alright, so in closing, don't search for Aunt May on Rule 34. Try out the Avengers beta. Doesn't cost anything to get into. Petition Disney to make the original version of Star Wars Episode 9.
Colin Trevorrow. Trevorrows.
Yeah. Don't support any... I don't support either side in the Fortnite Apple controversy.
Fuck it. Eat them.
And stay tuned. Watch next week's episode. We'll have our review of Bill and Ted 3. All right. This is the Bold of You to Say cast signing off. Have a good one.
Signing off. We're gonna blow something up. I don't know what, but it's our publicity stunt.
We're gonna go start a real life Rebel Alliance.
As you said that, I scrolled past a commercial of Marvel's Future Fight, and there was like intense music playing. And I was like, you know what? That's perfect for that.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. Goodbye, hypothetical listeners.
I love you.
Thank you for listening to Bold of You to Say. If you like this episode, please share it, like, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, a review would help us out a lot. And if you're listening on YouTube, leave a comment with what you'd like us to cover next. See you later, alligators.